and welcome to the Power Circuit, a program of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is where we bring you the latest updates, milestones, and scorecards from the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I'm your host, Amara Agogesi, and here are today's features. Minister of Power tax ECN, REA, on boosting local production of electrical components. Energizing 3 transformers significantly transforms New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu State. There is an expository report focusing on health, safety and environment HSE practices required to ensure the safety of personnel, protect equipment, and preserve the environment across power transmission substations. Because electricity transmission facilities operate at very high voltages, strict adherence to HSE rules is not optional. It is a legal and moral responsibility. You will see how this plays out in the Enugu transmission region. The Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has called for stronger collaboration between the Energy Commission of Nigeria, ECN, and the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, to advance President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for the power sector through increased local production of electrical components and reduced import dependence.
According to a statement from the Minister's office, Chief Adelabu made the call during a meeting with the management of the Energy Commission of Nigeria at his office in Abuja. The minister stressed the need for deliberate and coordinated efforts to expand local manufacturing beyond electricity matters to include other critical power sector components, noting that domestic production remains key to strengthening the nation's electricity value chain. He explained that the proposed collaboration would focus on research, data gathering, and evidence-based planning, adding that such synergy would enhance efficiency and informed decision-making across the sector. In furtherance of this objective, Chief Adelabu disclosed plans by the ministry to establish a central energy data pool and urged ECN to be part of it. In his response, the Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Mustapha Abdullahi, expressed the Commission's readiness to work closely with the ministry and relevant agencies to support the realization of President Tinubu's economic transformation agenda through sustainable energy development.
The Power Circuit continues after this break. Don't go away.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power-generating companies, GenCos, to distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
The installation and commissioning of 3 power transformers were recently completed at the New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu State. You will get to know the impact of these equipment in these reports.
The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, welcomes you to the 132 33 kV New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu, the Enugu State capital. This is a critical bulk electricity delivery facility in the southeast Nigeria, right under the Enugu region of TCN. Speaking right at the substation was the project manager, World Bank Project Implementation Unit at TCN, Engineer Antonia Onyinyechi.
Now we are here to energize this transformer you're looking at. The transformer is of the capacity 125 MVA. Is a transformer that we have already installed. The switchyard we are looking at is 132 kV switchyard. So this is one of the transformer we have installed so far in this station.
Uplifting a transmission substation requires committed resources, but for TCN, no matter the constraint, boosting transmission wheeling capacity is core. This is what it is at the New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu State, with funding through a World Bank financing scheme.
Overall, there are a total of 187.5 MVA, 125 MVA into 2. So we have 3 number power transformers that have been installed here. The first 2 has already been energized. This is the last one that is about to be energized.
The project manager also spoke of what the capacity of the substation was before now.
In existence, they have 2 by 60 MVA transformer, which has been replaced by 2 by 125 MVA transformer. So initially in existence, they have 120 megawatts. But now they are having, if you have 125 multiplied by 20, about 200 MVA, 200 megawatts has been added to the system. But this particular one is just 100 megawatts that has been added to this switchyard.
Let's talk about the impact of the substation on the national grid and for bulk power demand in Enugu State.
It means that here, not only those in New Haven will enjoy the addition of this capacity to the grid, all the states surrounding Enugu, they will benefit, because once the EEDC pick up the load from the feeders, from the outgoing 32 kV feeders, it means that more houses will be powered. So we have enough power in Enugu region environments.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, showcases once again the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu State. This expository focuses on health, safety and environment, HSE practices required to ensure the safety of personnel, protect equipment and preserve the environment within the Nigerian power sector. Electricity transmission facilities operate at very high voltages, and strict adherence to HSE rules is not optional. It is a legal and moral responsibility.
Electricity powers homes, industries, and national development. But behind every stable power supply lies a critical operation, one that demands discipline, expertise, and an uncompromising commitment to safety. Welcome to a transmission substation where health, safety and the environment are not just policies but a way of life. Right here at the New Haven substation, the manager, health, safety and the environment at the Enugu sub-region of TCN, Engineer Sam Ugu, is ready to take us through the nitty-gritty of safety practices at workplace, especially regarding routine maintenance of power transformers at the substation.
Right here where we are now is New Haven 330-132 transmitting station. It is the hub of this part of the southeast and the Enugu sub-regional headquarters. The role of HSE in TCN transverses the safety of personnel, the safety of equipment, and all-round safety of workman and equipment. We are by the T3A150 MVA transformer, auto transformer. During the annual maintenance, breakdown maintenance, or preventive maintenance, we usually carry out some safety measures to ensure that the workmen are safe while carrying out their assignments and their duties. First of all, they start with the permits. They take the permit from the control room. We ensure the permit is well applied for, the safe working space well mentioned, any additional apparatus that is needed for safety added in the permit, and then when the permit is granted from the NCC, and then our station here have the authority to carry out isolations, then what happens is that we break this circuit. The power that comes to this place will be broken through the circuit breaker.
Apart from the circuit breaker, there is another piece of critical equipment in the switchyard. This is the isolator, and it's all about safety.
This isolator will be open, and when this isolator is open, there is one very important thing we carry out to make sure that there are no electric shocks, no inductions from residual charges, which is this grounding stick. This grounding stick here, you can see the yellow sticks, 3 of them for the 3 phases. We activate it by grounding the line. This stick now goes up and hooks by the isolator base there, and then thereby discharging whatever residual charge that we will have, on this transformer. We also have to isolate the other end of the secondary so that we don't have a backfeed, and then at this point we are now safe to work.
Transmission substations operate at extremely high voltages. A single mistake can result in injury, equipment damage, or loss of life. This is why strict health, safety and environment (HSE) standards guide every activity within the substation. So, HSE officials also display safety signs and symbols around isolation areas to avoid intrusion from any authorized staff or person during the transformer maintenance exercise.
The HSE department also will get their caution tapes and then cordon off the unsafe area. Cordon off the unsafe area so that if for any reason you want to go beyond the safe working space, the caution tape guides you and lets you know that you're already going out of bounds.
Away from the safety practices during equipment maintenance exercises, excavation of sand near transmission tower lines has been a challenge across the regions of TCN.
The excavation is really a problem and a big challenge to us because for every tower that comes down will cost the government and TCN, will cost TCN and the government so much and a huge amount of money. Aside the money, the economic effects, it will also make the country to lose money, because when the lines are out, when power is out, there will be no generation of income as far as the power is concerned. Aside generation of income, the people also will be lamenting. Now, in recent times, we've been carrying out various sensitizations in various places. 2 weeks ago, we got an information of an excavation going on within the building behind the new building materials by the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. Behind it by Tower 228, a huge excavation going on beside the tower. And again, some months ago, we were at Artisan. There's a place called Artisan, Old Artisan, a New Artisan, where we also met serious excavation. And again, we were at Centenary City, still on the Enugu-Port Harcourt highway, off the highway, before where we call Ocean Oil, Centenary City. There, inside the Centenary City, serious excavation going on, there in between our towers and very close to the towers. We went there with the civil defense. Also, the previous one we've been going, we always go with the civil defense. They have been helpful down here in Enugu State.
There are key efforts that the government is making to sensitize community residents against this act and also vandalism.
We've been carrying out various sensitization. We carried out sensitization because of also the excavation going on in our community. We've been to Ihe, we've been to Abu with the GM and his entourage. We were there to carry out massive sensitization, whereby we visited the 6 traditional rulers within the community and really talked to them, and this have really been helpful. We were also in Benue State for that same sensitization. This has really been helpful because in recent time you can even see on the dailies that these vandals are being apprehended. Just few days ago, some vandals were apprehended at that Benue axis, and this is really helping, and this is what we are doing to see that this excavation really stops, and we are carrying the community, the traditional rulers and their cabinets, alongside, so they talk to their youths to really help us pinpoint spots, those places where these things are being carried out, and stop them, if possible, also apprehend them, which have been yielding fruit.
The safety officer further took time to explain the operational mapping in the New Haven transmission substation and how TCN management has improved this operation to ensure seamless transmission of bulk electricity.
Coming to the power we have here, we have a single circuit coming from Onitsha. Before now, we just have the Onitsha line, but thank God for the ring circuit that the management have been able to achieve during the past management. We now have what we call a ring circuit, whereby whenever there is an issue on one line, you can isolate that line and redirect your routes. We used to have just Onitsha coming into this point, and what it means is that once there is a problem in Onitsha or any of the stations before getting here, or any of the lines, vandalism or whatever, that means we are totally out of power. But with the ring circuit now, if there's a problem on the single phase in the single circuit Onitsha line 330, we can quickly isolate Onitsha. From that point, we open Onitsha and then call our switching station, which is the Ugwaji 330 kV, and tell them to feed us back. We have 2 lines coming from Ugwaji, line 1 and line 2. We tell Ugwaji to feed us back from either Ikote Ekpene. We have 4 lines, line 1, 2, 3, 4 circuits coming from Ikote Ekpene to Ugwaji, and then we have 2 circuits coming from Makurdi, that is also transversing from Jos to Makurdi down to Ugwaji. We can also achieve energy here, telling them to feed us back. And then when it gets to this point, remember we have opened Onitsha line, so what we now need to do is to close either Ugwaji 1 or Ugwaji 2 and get energy here, and then it drops at the gantry there, it drops there, and then we have the VT right there to take measurement of what we are receiving, what we are receiving, and then it transverses to the bus, and then when it gets to the bus, comes down to this place. We have the isolator. We have an isolator there too also that we will close so that it can get to this circuit breaker, and then it goes beyond it up to this isolator here that also will be closed so that the transformer can now receive the energy coming in. And then in between also we have the CT for also measurements and metering. You know, it helps us with the accurate measurement and then metering of the energy we are receiving here. It gets to the transformer, and then when it hits the transformer, we are receiving at this point 330 on the primary, and on the secondary there we are taking out 132 that now transverses down to the 132 bay over there into the transformers there, that will now be taking out 33 to the various substations, distribution stations, whereby from there they can now take it out to the public.
Despite preventive measures, emergencies can still occur. That is why every substation has a clear emergency response plan. Firefighting equipment, first aid kits and emergency assembly points are strategically located, and personnel are trained to respond quickly and effectively. Let's wrap up this episode with the highlights. Minister of Power Tax ECN RA on boosting local production of electrical components. With the energizing of 3 power transformers, a key transformation has occurred at the New Haven Transmission Substation in Enugu. An expository report focused on health, safety and environment, HSE practices required to ensure the safety of personnel, protect equipment and preserve the environment across power transmission substations. You saw how TCN sustains the safety culture in the Enugu transmission region. TCN is pleased to have you with us on the power circuit, bringing you greater insight into Nigeria's power sector. You can stay connected by visiting TCN's official YouTube channel via TCN_Nigeria, where you have access to all episodes. We also encourage you to support TCN by following and engaging with TCN across all social media platforms. On Facebook, like the page Transmission Company of Nigeria. On LinkedIn, like the page via Transmission Company of Nigeria. On X, follow the company at TCN_Nigeria. On Instagram, stay updated via at TCN_Nigeria. TCN welcomes your feedback and observations. Please send your comments to affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. For more details about TCN's activities, visit the interactive website at www.tcn.org.ng or stay informed through a dedicated news platform at www.tcnnews.ng, designed to keep you up to date with developments in the power sector. We also urge you to support TCN by staying vigilant against the vandalism of power transmission lines, towers and substations in your area. Please report any suspicious activity to TCN officials or the nearest security agency. I'm your host, Amara Agogesi. Let's have another exciting time next week.